Hey everyone, I have some exciting news to share. As many of you know, I am passionate about helping startups grow, scale, and make noise in the market. And today, I'm thrilled to announce that I'm officially joining Climb as their global brand ambassador. This isn't just another partnership, it's a movement, one that aligns perfectly with my mission of elevating bold founders, breakthrough technologies, and the global innovation ecosystem. Joining me today to share this epic news is someone I greatly admire, the visionary behind this movement. His name is Mr. Gordan Batement, founder and CEO of Climb. Gordan, first, I need to start off by saying thank you very much, sir, for this epic opportunity. And second, a massive congratulations to you and the Climb team on what you guys are building.
Oh, thanks, EP. It's a real honour to be with you and have you part of this team. You know, it's great, and this partnership is going to be epic. That's all I can say.
Exactly. Gordan, for those just getting introduced to Climb, give us the pitch. What is Climb, and why does the world need it now more than ever?
So we all know building a business is hard, right? And even more so now, I think there's lots of complexities on a global stage, right? And it's really challenging. There's also a lot of noise in the market. There's a lot of people who've jumped into this whole world of business support. We're seeing this definitely in the UK. And so as a business owner myself, it's like, how do you navigate that? How do you really understand where you get the right support? And my view is, to learn about growing a business, the best people to learn it from is people who've genuinely been there and done it, not people who've read it out of a book. So that's number one. How do we support businesses better and get people who've really been there and done it? Number two, which I think is equally important, is how do you do that in an engaging way? We've all been to conferences and shows, right, that are boring as, sat and been talked to, sat and been talked at. And so we want to do something that's really fun and really engaging, that entrepreneurs, people with brains like yours and mine, can connect with. And we all can contribute. So if you're in a lecture hall or in a theatre, you can't contribute to what's going on. So I say that Climb has 300 speakers. It doesn't. It has 4,000 speakers, everybody who comes to the event. And then thirdly, innovation and creation happens when you put people from loads of different backgrounds together to share ideas. So you've got someone from the film industry talking to a manufacturing founder, talking to an engineer. They create stuff. And someone said to me this a few months ago, there's people who create and there's people who take. And when you put a lot of creators in a room together, it's magical. And that's not my phrase. I was in an event in the audience a few weeks ago when people were talking about Climb, which was great. I wasn't branded up, so they didn't know who I was, and people were talking about Climb, and 4 different people in 4 different instances who weren't at the previous sessions used the word magical when they talked about Climb. And that, to me, is cool.
That is really cool. And I know I'm going to be learning a lot of new phrases joining this organization. I think I just picked up one right there, brandied up. But yes, magical is something I've been actually already experiencing, and I've heard from many. What makes Climb different, Gordan, from other innovation or founder-focused events and platforms?
I think there's a number of things, really. I think first and foremost is that difference of everyone contributes. So the event, I'll be totally honest, we went around the world and we nicked all the best bits of everyone else's events and put them into one place. And then we got rid of all the stuff that didn't really work for me as a founder at events I went to. So we have what I call main stage sessions. So the traditional, really cool speakers on stages sharing their stories. But we do it more like a chat show. How many times have we been to a panel session and the person gets asked the question and they say, what day of the week is it? And they go, it's Wednesday. And the next person goes, what am I going to say now? And they go, I tell you what, it's the day after Tuesday. And then the third person says it's Friday. And the other two look at the third person and go, you're wrong, but the microphone's been passed, so I can't contribute. So we have genuine debate on those stages. And we have everybody from, we've got Chunk from the Goonies, right? He's now an entrepreneur, an investor, and a lawyer, but he's coming and sharing his story, right through to founders of billion-dollar businesses and startups or whatever. So that's channel one, a very different way of attacking the kind of traditional conference style event. The second is we have 60 small sessions where we bring together 30 people in a room on a shared subject. So like a debate, a round table, a masterclass. And the reason for that is if I'm at an event with 4,000 people, I might want to meet 200 that are relevant and going to have economic value to me. And we all go to events for economic value, right? So how do I navigate those 2,000, 3,000 people that are great, but I don't want to meet really, to get to the ones I do want to meet? So these smaller sessions, we can curate getting people together from that delegate list. And the third is use of technology. We'd be mad if we weren't using technology nowadays. So our app, which we've had developed based on one of the market leading apps, will actually suggest, if you use it, it will suggest who you meet. So the networking area and the networking part at the end, yeah, absolutely, 100%. It's all about interaction. It's about relationship building. And then I guess finally, by whacking this into the format of a music festival and a big, rather than a conference, you open the event with a whole mood changer that makes people, mood setter, that makes people realize this is a place where people connect. Wow. So we actually create a vibe which is around connection. So it does annoy some of our speakers, because what happens is at the beginning of the session, people go into a speaking slot and then they start meeting each other. So then they don't go into the speech. So they've come there because they want to meet person X, an Olympian or whoever is speaking on a stage, but then they start meeting each other. So
that's going to have a huge impact. And that's actually where I want to go next. Talk about the impact, Gordan, that you've seen so far from what you've just described in terms of like the Climb community, especially for the startups, the investors, and the partners. I mean, this is like a experiential engagement that's happening, what you just described. I personally have seen what you've just described in very, very small forms, but this is the most common thread throughout Climb, which is really exciting, because I can only imagine the impact, how much you're walking away from what you've gained, the value, the knowledge. So talk to me about the impact.
Yeah, so going to an event is an investment, whether it's your time that you've spent to do that, or whether it's the money on buying a ticket, or whether it's buying a sponsorship. So we came at this from that angle. What is the return on investment at whatever level for coming at that? So, and there's plenty of examples of this. So founders who are looking for funding will be in a very intense in terms of the number of people there, not intense in terms of like atmosphere, but an intense environment of lots of investors. Last year we had 2,500 guests. More than 10% of those were active investors. So there was one guy, and it's a really cool story. He was in the audience and he receives a text message from his investor, nothing to do with Climb, an investor he'd met beforehand, saying he was withdrawing, he was pulling out. So James is sat in the audience thinking, it's over, that's it. I was expecting this money in a few weeks, I'm done. So he goes outside and he went, hang on, I'm at an investor event. So he goes and gets himself a coffee, and apologies that I keep drinking my coffee, but it's that kind of time of day. And two guys come and sit next to him. Say, hi, who are you? I'm James. What do you do? And James articulated very clearly what he does as a business. It's automated stores. You have a lot of those in the US. We don't have them so much in the UK. And Martin, one of the guys who is the founder and exited entrepreneur in an AI business, said, I really like this. He invested £2 million into that business.
Wow.
2024, we put a big orange deck chair in the no, we didn't tell anyone what it was. We put this massive orange deck chair in the place where that offer was made.
Oh my God.
The offer did transact, and James came back and told his story. And we've got photos of the global head of VR for Sony sat on that chair meeting people and whatever. We've had, and that's on a business end. For companies, we've had companies created. Two founders, never met each other, completely different industries, get chatting over a beer. And they went, if we combine what you do with what I do, this would be really cool. Yeah. And they've done that. They've got a new business. And then
peanut butter and chocolate coming together on the spot.
Absolutely. That is exact things. We've had people find customers.
So this is absolutely amazing. Love everything that you're dishing out here. And oh, by the way, orange is the new epic. Yes, you like that? EP owns all the M's. Gordan, if you didn't know, I'll share it with you and everybody else here. My kids, I have twins, are M&Ms, so lots of these in the house. So orange is the new epic. You like that?
Absolutely, I love it.
So let's talk about ClimbUK, July 2nd and 3rd, right around the bend, and it's in Leeds. I'll be there. I genuinely believe that this is one of the must-attend innovation gatherings of the year. Gordan, who should come, and what can they expect when they show up in Leeds? And when I say who, I'm talking about, is it investors? Is it sponsors? Is it people in legal, medical, business, cyber? Like, what's like the mix?
All of the above, right? It's anybody who's
Good answer.
interested, anyone who's interested in business and personal development. So if
Okay.
you want to grow your company, there is every asset and every facet that you need to be able to grow your business, whether it be meeting potential customers, meeting potential investors, meeting experts who can help you along that journey. And the content covers every aspect of a business. So one of the things that I've seen a lot of is you have very specific, sector specific or function specific. We've all been to sales shows or med tech shows or whatever. And our view was like, well, time's precious. Why can't I do all of that in 2 days? So that's what we built an agenda. So we've got business owners and founders of high growth businesses. That can be anything from a relatively early startup company through to a company that's trading internationally. We do have professional services organizations, lawyers, accountants, but you don't feel like you're being sold to. One of the things, again, that we kind of have a bit of an unwritten rule is you don't come to climb to sell, you come to climb to learn. And so you don't get people who are overtly selling. Even our expo, I don't know how to describe it. Nobody's there just waving a flag going, buy my thing. It kind of helps you have robot dogs running around the place and racing simulators in there and all sorts of things. But it's about anybody who wants to learn and develop. If you don't want to learn and develop, don't come. If you don't want to contribute, don't come. If you want to grow and you want to help people grow and you want to take your business or yourself to the next level, because we have lots of things on well-being and health and mental health, but in any sector, this is the place. And I genuinely have not seen anything like it on the planet.
Well, when it was introduced to me, I had never heard anything like it. And the person, as you know, a little shout out to Ian McLeese. I saw him post, and what I was searching and looking for, it was everything and then some, or as they say here in the States, and a bag of chips. Which is pretty old saying, but we'll bring it back. So yeah, it's amazing the things that you have on the website laid out, but then everything that you gave me, there's only so much you can put in print on a website. There's only so much you can put in a video. But everything else that you've shared with me, and I know you're adding as we go. And look, Leeds is just around the bend. Dubai is right around the bend as well. 6 months is not a lot of time, and it'll be here before you know it. And guys, for next year, this thing is growing. So very, very exciting. So, look, I've seen the lineup, I've seen the vibe, and I've seen what's happening when it comes to having real founders, real investors, real innovation coming together. And if you're serious about scaling, if you're serious about funding, if you're serious about transforming your business, people, this is where you need to be. So here's the play. Join me, Gordan, and the entire amazing global community of founders, investors, operators, change makers at ClimbUK on July 2nd and 3rd in Leeds. Got the website right down there below. Got the date down there for you if you need to capture it again. And how about this? How about a promo code? You guys use the promo code EPIC. Guess what's going to happen? Going to get a nice little gift from Gordan. So use that to go get your ticket. Guys, by the way, the ticket price, little secret, like it's going to go, not only going to go up, but it's worth 10x. I've been to some of these shows where I'm like, wait a second, we're talking into the thousands, and I'm not getting the return. It's a blur. It's overload. This is constructed. This is customized to your liking, and the amount of information and the bodies, the partnerships you're going to get out of this, the ROI is going to be incredible. Here's what Gordan and I want you guys to do. We want you to head to climb-uk.com to check out the agenda, grab your tickets, and get ready to experience something truly game-changing. Speaking of game-changing, Gordan, you are a game changer. Love everything you've shared here today. I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to seeing everybody coming out to this event. And I thank you for coming on and making this announcement, and once again, giving me the opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. No, it's been great. Thank you for your time.
And guys, look, This is your invitation to climb higher. You've heard me for probably the last couple of years talk about taking the jump. I now want everybody to take the climb with me, with Gordan, with the Climb team. So take the climb, go over to climb-uk.com, and we'll see you guys in Leeds.